leftist wacko race baiter goes totally unhinged, cusses Charlie Kirk out after he gets his whole arguments completely taken down and dismantled. Guys, this is going to be a great video. I think you're going to enjoy it. Spoiler alert, the kid gets a little bit triggered. You'll see what I mean. So we're gonna get right into it, guys. But first, please make sure you like our video, share it around, and subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. Why subscribe? So we can keep delivering you these great videos of leftists just getting so triggered. It's a fun time, guys. We all know it is. I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into the show.
Hi. To address your previous assertion that race means nothing, critical race theory is not being taught in schools. It is a academic theory that's pretty much delegated only to higher academia. They're not teaching it in schools. Your explanation of it was an oversimplification. You address the real history behind it, unlike most people. And why, if race means nothing, does it affect our history? Say 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. Why is there such evil history with something that supposedly means nothing?
Okay, so first of all, you're wrong. It is being taught in elementary schools. I'll give you an example. Not only is it being taught, it's being enforced. So in Denver, there is a playground where they say white families not allowed. Would you support that?
That seems like a ridiculous edge case.
So does he support it or not? Of course he doesn't answer it because he probably does support it, or at least doesn't care. Ridiculous edge case. Okay, do you support it or not? Very simple question. And his response is quite telling.
So I'll give you another example. Actually, in the National Education Association's training manual, which is the largest teacher union in the country, they had a seminar on how to teach critical race theory to kids. That sounds like it's in our schools, doesn't it?
What that is it's literally just common sense. It's saying that this is real history. This is what has happened in the past.
Right. So
that matters.
Okay, got it. So, for example, would you say that black-only dormitories is wrong?
This is a very common leftist tactic that we see all the time, where first they'll lie, they'll pretend the problem is not existing, then you prove that their lie is incorrect by showing how that problem does actually exist, and then they say, well, it is happening, but it's actually okay, and it's just common sense or whatever, and actually you're crazy if you oppose it. That kid literally was just saying, it's not being taught in schools, you're lying, essentially saying Charlie's a liar for pointing that out. And then right after, oh, well, it's just common sense. Why would you not support it? Such a gaslight. It's so obvious and it's getting old and people are getting tired of it.
It certainly creates a sense of community. I don't see any problem with that. We have sororities, we have male-only dorms.
Right. So racial differences are irrelevant and immaterial. Chromosomal differences actually do matter.
Right.
But let me ask you a question. Are there differences between races?
No, not biologically.
Then why would we have different dormitories for races?
Culture.
Segregation is what you're arguing for, my friend.
No, sir.
How is it not segregation to have blacks in their own dorm?
You've just pigeonholed me, essentially. You've essentially you've distracted from my original argument.
No, you did that to yourself. Let's reemphasize. So Ibram X. Kendi argues, who is one of the leading thinkers of critical theory, race theory, discrimination today to atone for discrimination of yesterday. We have black-only graduation ceremonies at Columbia University, black-only dormitories across the country, for example, at Western Washington University. Can you join me today in saying black-only dormitories are evil, wrong, and it's segregation?
You still haven't answered my question about why does this history simultaneously mean nothing?
Well, I'm happy to answer that, but the fact you're dodging segregation in America, why is that?
I'm arguing against segregation.
So you're against black-only dormitories?
Yes.
Well, you said it was a force of community, and then not for critical.
Once again, the constant lying. He literally just said he's totally cool with black-only dormitories. Now he's saying, oh yeah, I am against it, just to appear intellectually consistent. It's totally disingenuous.
Race theory?
That's an option. We have choice.
Oh, so you could choose to segregate.
That's a pigeonhole.
What do you think of white-only dormitories?
Yeah, it's a pigeonhole because your argument is clearly not on a strong foundation and it crumbles at the slightest poking question. So he says it's a pigeonhole as if that's somehow owning Charlie. Like, yeah, oh yeah, you pigeonholed me. Yeah, you got pigeonholed because your argument sucks. Duh.
What?
Would you support white-only dormitories?
Everybody has a choice.
So I think white-only and black-only anything is evil and wrong. That's why I hate critical theory and critical race theory, because when it's put in practice, when it's put in practice, you start to discriminate people based on race. So we're now south of the Mason-Dixon line in North Carolina. We did a lot of work to get rid of segregation in this country. Why are you trying to bring it back?
What work?
The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
In this state?
Yeah, actually in this state. Are there black-only bathrooms out there I'm unaware of, or white-only bathrooms?
Nah.
In every state. Did this guy forget that the Civil Rights Act was federal legislation? So, guys, why are we explaining this? Federal legislation means it's on a national level because it's the country and we have 50 states in our country. So when you pass a federal law, it applies to all of those 50 states. So yes, the state.
Right. A lot of work was done in the state.
Your face is small.
Well, thanks for being here. They always go to insults when they lose the argument. God bless you, my friend.
Well, that was really something. You know, I love how these people always jump straight to these ridiculous personal attacks and insults as soon as their argument gets proven wrong. You think people would be willing to exercise some humility and, and say, oh, I haven't considered that before. Thank you for telling me that. Who am I kidding? No, that's a very rare thing some days. It's in short supply. Narcissism and ego and thinking you're always right and better and smarter than everyone else, there's no shortage of that. I'll tell you guys that. But being open to the fact that maybe your previous thoughts and preconceived notions were incorrect, yeah, very rare thing and a very admirable trait when people do exercise that. So hopefully we'll see more of that one day. I don't know. But you know what is a whole lot less common and is a very positive attribute in somebody, and if you meet somebody like this, run to them quick, is being open-minded and willing to admit, hey, maybe what I thought about this topic before or concept, whatever it might be, maybe there's something I haven't considered and maybe this will help me develop my opinion on it further. Obviously, that kid is nowhere near that category, but we can all pray that maybe he'll be there someday. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that clip. Now we're gonna see another quick one on Charlie Kirk, also talking about this critical race theory nonsense with another college student. Check it out.
Two quick questions. First one is, do you believe in the First Amendment and freedom of speech? Just because it's critical to the next question.
Well, it's probably leading the questioner, but you bring it on. Yeah, I believe in the First Amendment.
Okay. Yeah, I just assumed so. And the second question is, do you believe CRT should be banned in states because of that? And obviously, banning speech is a very risky thing to do.
I know exactly where your question's coming from. Do you think we should teach eugenics in schools?
No.
Okay, so that would be banning speech, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so bad ideas should be banned and not taught to kids.
Okay.
Thank you.
Quite the rhetorical brilliance by Charlie there, and logical brilliance too, obviously. It's so true. You know, there's this weird idea that many conservatives will push of academic freedom and the marketplace of ideas and, let everybody say whatever they want, whenever they want. And they come from a good place, don't get me wrong, but it's a really misguided way to think. And the reason for that is no one actually believes it. I'll give you an example. If somebody was, say, a college professor, was going and teaching students about some kind of genocidal maniac who maybe ordered the killings of a large group of people, and then that same professor argued that it's a good thing that they're killing those people, nobody with a straight face would seriously argue, well, yeah, it's their right. We believe in the free marketplace and exchange of ideas. If they believe that this mass killing of this group of people was a good and positive thing to do, well, that's their right, academic freedom. No one argues that. Yet when it's, say, a far-left Marxist who's preaching absolutely hateful and disgusting things against a group of people, it seems to just go right by the wayside. I'll give you an example. In 2021, a Rutgers University professor by the name of Brittany Cooper very infamously said that white people are villains. And she took it a step farther too. Not only does she think they're villains, but she also said, we gotta take these motherfuckers out. If that's not genocidal rhetoric, you tell me what is. Guess what? Surprise, surprise, she still has her job, she's still a professor, she's got tenure, etc., etc. She has suffered no consequences for doing so. You think that would fly if somebody was saying it about, let's say, black students? I know it's an obvious question to pose, and the answer is even more obvious, but it's gotta be said. Well, guys, that wraps up the video today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked, what you want to see next, and we'll see you guys again soon. God bless.